How's it going, everyone? Raptor NLN here, bringing you a Qliphort deck profile this time. I hope everybody's staying safe with the whole virus thing going on right at the moment. But yeah, so I've been playing Qlis for a long time, and I don't think they're dead even still to this day. They're a little slower than when they first came out. But I love this deck so much just because this was probably my favorite era of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And this was just the deck to beat, I remember when it came out. So yeah, I've got kind of a special place for this one. So anyways, without further ado, I'll show you guys the deck profile. If you got any comments or any suggestions, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But anyways, without further ado, we'll start off with 3 Scout. I think this is standard. I can't believe for the longest time he got hit to 1. That just hurt the deck so much. Like 2 would have been fine, but like 1, like it almost made the deck unplayable. But he's back up to 3, so actually this deck is pretty much up to full power again. And I don't play really the spam engine to where you just spam out a bunch of monsters and attack. I mean, this deck does it anyway, but anyways, yeah. So, and then 2 copies of Monolith. He's usually what I would try to put in the other scale just because I like the draw power. I like, you know, it's usually a free pot of greed almost every turn, so the way that the deck works. But 3 clogs, so I find 2 to be just perfect. And then we're playing 3 carrier and then 3 helix. These are kind of the guys that you want to see alongside your Scout and Monolith, your opening hand for tribute fodder, because when they're tributed, Helix you get a pop, a spell or trap, Carrier you get a bounce back a monster to your hand. So, and that's just really helpful, especially with the next card I'm about to show, which is 3 Stealth. He is probably my favorite Qli monster of all time, just because you cannot chain to his effect, and a lot of people these days are kind of forgetting that, or have never played, they're new to the game and don't know that he does that. So, you know, you can activate Helix, Chain Link 1, Carrier, Chain Link 2, and his effect Chain Link 3. Now you get 2 bounces back to hand, and this can bounce any card back to hand. So you can bounce your Scout to get another search. That's one of my favorite plays to do. Or you can bounce any floodgates back that you need, or anything like that. So just really good. Like I said, probably my favorite Qli monster. All these can be normal summoned, and they go to level 4, except for the vanilla ones like Scout and Monolith. So I just feel like this deck is very versatile. You don't need to special summon, you don't need to tribute summon to win. You don't even need effects to win. So like, I feel like a lot of the decks these days and like what they shut down, like I feel like it can play around. So that's why I still like it. 1 disc. I wouldn't mind playing 2, but I try to keep it at 1 just because it's kind of the, you know, the same scales, like 1 scales to 9 scales. So just 1. I wouldn't knock anybody if they wanted to try it at 2 or 3, but for what I like to do with this deck, 1's perfectly fine. And then 3, believe it or not, of the Cephalopod. More often than not, like, I am going to push for burn damage because a lot of decks now play around the graveyard. So this card has come in clutch a lot more. I was playing 1 of these in 1 shell, and I was playing 2 of these and then 1 shell. I just like it at 3 because I'd usually rather see this than shell. More often than not, I can clear the board with my other monsters. I don't need to attack twice with shell. So yeah, I just find his effect a little bit more useful in situations. And then for the last monster, 1 Ondi's Pendulum Dragon. He has a scale, but also he searches your Scout if you just happen to not open anything to search your Scout. So just 1 though. 2, I've tried 2 and it gets kind of cloggy, so 1's perfect. And then for draw cards, I got 1 Upstart and 1 Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires is so amazing. Being able to draw 2 is crazy because you can just do so much. Usually if I see Pot of Desires, I usually win, unless I'm going against something like really crazy. But And the next triple summoners art, you got 5 targets, so like this ratio is kind of high. Like I could see cutting it to 2 for maybe another Desires or something like that. But I just really want to see my Scout and Monolith, so I'm basically playing like 8 copies of the vanillas, and then I can just search, well, technically 9 if you count the Odd Eyes monster. But yeah, and then anyways, Sacrifice. The fact that this card's still at 3 is amazing. Like, a lot of people forget that your monster can't be destroyed by battle when they attack this. They think it's just a 300 attack boost and gives 2 tributes, so that's kind of a plus. And then Wavering Eyes at 2. I side decked the 3rd one. I feel like 3 gets kind of cloggy, but if you go against like a Pendulum deck, this card is bananas. Super good. And then I play Raigeki and Limiter Removal. Raigeki I play really is just a negate bait type of thing. You could play Lightning Storm. I don't knock it, but I actually like having the versatility of being able to play this at any time. Because, you know, if I go first, I'm obviously going to play cards, and Lightning Storm at that point I can't activate until my entire field's clear. So that's why I kind of choose Raigeki. And then Limiter Removal. You don't really care if your monsters get destroyed, so the double attack can really help a lot, depending on the situation. So, but yeah, 1's fine. I don't think I'd ever play more than 1, just because I could see it bricking pretty hard. Next, triple copies of MST. Let's see, Lightning Storm, back to Lightning Storm. Like I said, I want the versatility of being able to activate my back row removal or whatever I'm trying to do, you know, right on the spot. I don't want to have to worry about not having cards. Twin Twisters I would play, but you need your hand. You need to keep your hand count. And then like Storm, I thought about that, but I'd rather keep the cards on my field and stuff. You know, I'd rather just keep my pendulums, keep my stuff, and keep playing. So MST seems to work good for me. You could replace this for Galaxy Cyclone or Cosmic Cyclone, but I just like the MSTs. Next, for the traps, Skill Drain. If this card was at 3, it would be at 3. It's super amazing. Probably the best floodgate in here. You don't care about effects. All of your monsters, if they get their effects negated, they go up to their full attack power, and you just OTK them with that. Next, I play 2, lose 1 turn. This was at 3, but it kind of clogs. You don't want to play too many floodgates, because then you just, you know, you burn on floodgates, and then you don't really do much. So, but 2 is fine. The fact that their monsters go to defense with their effects negated when they're special summoned, unless it's a normal vanilla monster. Like this is so broken. Like, this gets over so many problematic cards, and it puts the game to where you can come back. You know, it kind of slows your opponent down, stops them for their turn, and then you just make your plays on your turn and deal with whatever they put out. So, and then 2 Torrential Tributes, kind of the same thing. Why I don't play 3, but yeah, the ability that you're able to clear the field, like you just pendulum summon your stuff the following turn, so you don't really care about your field, so you just blow it up. And then for the last 2 cards of the deck, I'm playing Double Crackdown. Crackdown is super good, very good interruption. Just take your opponent's monster and run with it. Like, it's so broken. A lot of people have activated this and they don't realize that the effect still goes through, like when somebody's searching or something, but it's still very vital. You know, you can take like their Boral Sword, any like end game monsters, boss monsters. So yeah, that's really good. Still not a 3 of though. Like I said, it kind of bricks. So next we'll go off to the extra deck. The extra deck, you don't even really need. There's only I would say 2 to 3 cards that you need, and it's just this, basically the Genius. Genius is the only thing you hardly. I don't make anything else in my extra deck, but I have it just in case. So the extra deck's mainly up to you, but 3 Genius is the main thing I would concern myself with, just because you get to search, and it opens up your link zones to pendulum summon. So, and you can make it at any time. And then next, just some random rank 4s, Honor Arc, Excited Knight, Tornado Dragon, and number 41. Just kind of, you know, if anything, I find myself making rank 4s over anything else. But there again, I really, like, I think I've made Tornado Dragon one time. But past that, like, I really haven't made any of these. I could see myself going into this, like, first turn if I drew into, like, Wavering Eyes and two Qliphs that I can, you know, pendulum summon. But there again, you really don't need anything past the geniuses. So next, the Infinity combo, just because M7, because why not? Draco Sack, Big Eye, Hulk Harbinger, Draglubian, and then Utopic Dragon, just as kind of some different options in case you ever have to. And then I do have a side deck. This is kind of up to you and what you're playing against. Honestly, I hardly ever side. There's only a few cards in here that are actually, like, really make sense, I guess. Like Skybase and Towers, they do come up, but I don't find myself siding them in. But every once in a while, I do need kind of a control boss monster to just kind of, you know, keep my opponent in check. This Towers is really not so great anymore, because sending a monster to the graveyard is just almost too beneficial to most decks nowadays. But Skybase, being able to take control of a monster for a turn, that usually isn't too bad. And then 3 copies of Sphere Mode. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the best cards right now, just because your opponent usually makes a board that is like 5 negates or something, and you just tribute off 3 of them and pretty much play around the other 2 or whatever. So and then I do play Winged Dragon of Raw just for the fun of it, just so I can kind of get rid of that Sphere Mode if I have the chance, and play a 4,000 attack beat stick. But you could take it out, honestly. And then the 3rd Wavering Eyes, and then 3 Dark Ruler No More, just because, you know, to get you that extra monster effect negation and to kind of pull yourself back out of the rut if you're kind of losing. I do side deck the 3rd lose 1 turn, so what I would do is side out, and then also 3rd Crackdown. So, like, you kind of pick and choose, like, what situation you're in. So you can side out, like, the Torrential Tribute if that's not as good, or, you know, whatever. So that's kind of why I run those ratios. And then 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance, just because if you're going against another Pendulum deck, usually you need to shut them down more than you need to Pendulum Summon. So you can just play around with, you know, you just set or you activate your Anti-Spell Fragrance, and they can't play while you still can. So, and then Imperial Order, kind of for the same reason. You can still activate your Pendulums in their scales, you just can't activate, like, Scout's Effect to search. So in that particular case, Imperial Order shuts down a lot of decks, and you don't really need your spells past that. You just keep attacking with your monsters. So but yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, this deck build really isn't too far from the standard Qli deck, but I do really like it, really enjoy it. Another thing you can play around with Plan is there can only be 1. It kind of hurts your deck, but at the same time, like, if there's another deck that you're going against that, you know, this will really affect harder than you can still play around with using this. That's kind of another option I was playing around with. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.